I didn't believe it at first. Nobody did. Because the moment that first ball left the bat, soaring into the October night like a comet ripping through the sky, something inside the stadium shifted. It wasn't just a home run. It was the beginning of a night that felt impossible even as we watched it unfold. The roar that erupted didn't sound like a normal cheer. It sounded stunned, like 50,000 people all gasping at the same time. And right then, in that one breathtaking moment, we should have known this wasn't an ordinary postseason game. It was something else, something bigger. The Milwaukee pitchers didn't have time to settle before history started knocking. That first swing came so fast, so violently, that even the cameras struggled to track the ball. By the time it crashed into the second deck, the world around us seemed to slow down, as if fate itself wanted everyone to absorb what was beginning. But no one in the stadium could have predicted what was coming next. Not the players, not the fans, not even the commentators who had seen almost everything this sport could offer. Because nights like this don't happen by accident. They happen when the impossible decides to take the field. The second homer came with a kind of electricity that rippled through the air like lightning. It wasn't just another big hit. It was a warning, a signal, a message sent across every seat, every dugout, every living room watching at home. Something extraordinary was taking shape. The swing was smoother this time, calmer, more intentional, and the sound, oh, the sound. That crack wasn't just contact. It was prophecy. The ball tore into deep left field, rising higher and higher until the crowd stood in unison, knowing exactly where it was headed. And when it cleared the wall, the stadium didn't cheer. It exploded. Fans looked at each other like they were witnessing a glitch in reality. 3 innings into the NLCS, and this two-way superstar had already hijacked the script and set it on fire. But the real madness, the one that would echo through postseason history, still waited in the shadows of the later innings. Every at-bat that followed felt heavier. You could see it in the Brewers' eyes. They weren't just pitching anymore, they were surviving. Every pitch carried tension. Every heartbeat felt synced with the crowd's anticipation. And then the atmosphere changed again. The third home run didn't feel real. It felt cinematic, like something written for a movie, not for the cold, unforgiving stage of October baseball. The moment the pitch left the pitcher's hand, time seemed to blur. The ball floated toward the plate. The crowd inhaled. The swing uncoiled. And then, impact. The sound of that hit was unlike anything from the first two. It was louder, sharper. It sent goosebumps crawling across skin and left even the rival fans standing in awe. The ball didn't just travel far. It vanished into the night, carrying with it the breath of everyone watching. A 3-home run performance. In the postseason. In the NLCS. On a night where he wasn't just batting, but pitching as a two-way threat, rewriting what baseball greatness looks like. As he rounded the bases, even his teammates struggled to contain the disbelief. Some laughed, some shook their heads, others simply stared like they knew they had just witnessed a night that would be replayed for decades. Slow-motion replays only deepened the magic. Each home run looked more surreal in frame-by-frame detail. The torque of the hips, the explosion of the wrists, the perfect connection sending the ball into orbit. Every slow-motion angle felt like a piece of art. Fans watched the screen not because they needed proof, but because they needed to relive every millisecond of a moment they couldn't fully comprehend the first time. Meanwhile, on the mound, he didn't crumble. He didn't slow down. He didn't lose focus. He dominated. Pitch after pitch, inning after inning, he carved through the Brewers like a surgeon working with absolute precision. Fastballs painted corners. Splitters dropped into shadows. Sliders snapped with vicious intent. You could feel the emotional gravity. A man hitting 3 home runs in a playoff game would be legendary. A man pitching while doing it. That defied every rule, every expectation, every boundary the sport ever had. And as he walked back to the dugout after another shutdown inning, the camera caught something rare, calmness. A quiet confidence, like he knew the moment wasn't too big. Like he'd been waiting his whole life for a stage like this. By the 9th inning, the entire stadium had risen to their feet, not just to cheer, but to honor what they had witnessed. The energy wasn't frantic anymore. It was reverent, emotional, almost spiritual. He looked around the stadium slowly, absorbing every sound, every flash of a camera, every chant of his name. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't overwhelmed. He was present, fully, completely present in a moment that would outlast all of us. When the final out was recorded, the celebration that followed wasn't loud because of victory. It was loud because of wonder. Because 50,000 people knew they had seen something that would be told to children and grandchildren long after 2025 faded into the past. A 3-homer night, a two-way masterpiece, a postseason explosion that shook the baseball world. As he raised his cap to the crowd, the stadium erupted one last time, a roar that wasn't cheering a player. It was celebrating a phenomenon. Because some performances don't need explanation. Some nights don't need context. Some moments don't need comparison. They just live forever. And this night, this unbelievable, unforgettable October night, was one of them. A reminder that every once in a while, the game gives us something beyond numbers, beyond logic, beyond imagination. A reminder that greatness doesn't always tiptoe in quietly. Sometimes it arrives swinging for the fences.